Welcome, everyone. It's Firm with Mark Merrill, Fairness in Reporting Media. Today we're talking about AI scams and transgender scares. Welcome. On our program today, we look at a couple of important issues facing our parents and children together, plus the future of AI and what we found out from a recent Epoch Times report. But first, here's a transgender scandal exposed that shows very troubling and violent surgical operations on children under 12 years old from Judicial Watch. So we bring that up first on our program, folks. This posted back on October 1st as Judicial Watch presented transgender scandal documents. Right here you can see show University of California, San Francisco doctors gave puberty blockers to children as young as 9 years old. That's not outrageous to anybody out there who's had children. It ought to be, or you're not sane. Judicial Watch announced on that day it received 2,491 pages of records in the California Public Records Action lawsuit on behalf of the Daily Caller News Foundation that showed top doctors at University of California, San Francisco, UCSF, gave puberty blockers to children as young as 9. They obtained the records as a result of a 2023 lawsuit for information about UCSF's transgender programs targeting of children. The case was Daily Caller News Foundation versus the Regents of the University of California. Records include many emails from which participants' names are redacted and withheld from the public. Back as far as October 2022, emails between the New York Times, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, and the National Institutes of Health, yikes, with the subject line Final Cues on Trans Youth Care Study, detailed discussion regarding the big NIH, of course, National Institutes of Health, multi-site study of the use of puberty blockers on transgender adolescents, and whether an 8-year-old developed significant osteopenia. Ugh! That doesn't make things shiver up and down your spine or throw up. It ought to. Christina Jewett and Megan Towie from the New York Times contacted doctors on this and were preparing to publish a story to use puberty blockers on transgender adolescents. They've been working on for many months, said these Times reporters. The story includes information related, folks, to the big NIH multi-site study on blockers and hormone treatment. We're going to run down just a few of the pieces of information, folks. It's quite lengthy, but you can go to judicialwatch.org/transgender-scandal for more information, and we'll make sure it's posted. In a 2014 funding proposal to the NIH, 4 prominent American gender clinics pointed out that the United States had never produced data on the psychological and mental health impact, safety, and tolerability of the drugs, particularly among transgender patients under 12, leaving, quote, a gap in evidence for this practice, unquote. Awarded nearly $8 million to examine the effects of blockers and sex hormones. Another one, or a bullet point, says a child in the NIH study who started blockers at age 8 developed significant osteopenia and switched to hormone treatment at 11 to support bone health. Please let us know, said the reporters, if any of the information is inaccurate. And lastly, in their request for information, the New York Times, folks. Also, we know the NIH investigators have produced some reports out of their study, such as baseline measures, telehealth dynamics, and height velocity. But why have they yet to report on key outcomes of treatment, such as the effects of blockers on mental health and bones? And their last question: do you have any comment on the case of the 8-year-old study participant who was put on CSH as a result of developing osteopenia per the 2019 study update, question mark. The questions were forwarded to a Stephen Rosenthal, MD, Medical Director, Child and Adolescent Gender Center, University of California, San Francisco, as mentioned. A Children's Hospital Los Angeles official writes, Steve, you need to correct the information about your participant. Rosenthal writes to Children's Hospital requesting a copy of the 2019 study update, and later wrote, okay, I have now reviewed all UCSF participants. First, with respect to the blocker cohort, we did not start a blocker on anyone age 8. The youngest participant in the blocker cohort from our site was 9 years old and 3 months, and this individual did not develop osteopenia. Oh, well, that's nice. Monsters. And you could quote me on that one. Second, he writes, with respect to the GAH cohort, we had 7 participants, 7, who entered into the study having been previously treated with a blocker. None of those 7 participants started a blocker at age 8, but were significantly older. One last entry here, folks, before we move on here, on firm dealing with AI scams, but first on transgender scares. And boy, are they. Reprehensible. Feel like I'm in a Frankenstein movie. The relevant text from 2019 says, quote, within the CSH cohort, 311 participants have been enrolled across all study sites. Participants range from 11 to 20 years old with a mean age of 16 plus or minus 1.9 years. Participants aged 13 and older made up 98% of the CSH cohort. The single 11-year-old who enrolled in the study was receiving cross-sex hormones in order to support bone health due to significant osteopenia. The participant was not previously treated with a blocker at age 8, so the information described by the New York Times reporters is incorrect, but it was redacted. In terms of the 24-month bone paper, a follow-up bone paper, it says, they can be told, as previously communicated to them through our email to the National Institutes of Health, that the data analysis and related manuscript preparation are underway, and we are targeting December for manuscript submission. That's all we're going to reveal here, folks, and it is more than reprehensible. It's downright scary. Now, next up, folks, we have that report we told you about at the beginning of our statement, our opening, from the Epoch Times. And they have a report on what just about everybody needs to know about AI and the scams that go along with it, including some documents you'll hear in this report coming right up.
Artificial intelligence has revolutionized the way we complete tasks, and it's becoming a part of our everyday lives. But like many technological innovations, AI can be a double-edged sword. It can make life easier, and it can open the door to a new generation of scammers and fraudsters who can steal everything from your money to your identity. So it's important to know what you're up against in the modern world. Deepfake voice cloning. Believe it or not, you may get a call from a robot claiming to be a loved one stating they're in a desperate situation and need money. But before you reach for your debit card, understand this may be a scam. It could be tied to what's called voice cloning. Scammers gather a clip of someone speaking from anywhere, including social media. They then then use voice synthesis technology to generate new speech that sounds identical to the voice they analyzed. These tricks are also known as grandparent scams, because thieves often dupe older individuals into thinking they are their grandchildren in urgent need of money. And that's key. Voice cloning scammers often create an extreme sense of urgency. If you feel the call is too intense, it's okay to hang up. Call the person directly and ask about the situation, if any. Some experts also recommend that you use secret phrases among your loved ones in order to confirm their identity. But be sure to make it as obscure as possible. Don't make it something users can find on their social media pages. And don't share it through email or anywhere else, as these can be compromised as well. It should only be shared through word of mouth among your loved ones. But what happens when it's not a loved one, but someone you admire? Voice cloning scammers have been known to duplicate the voices of celebrities and public officials to generate robocalls that trick people into donating to a cause or investment scheme. You should immediately hang up on these types of calls. And if you're really curious, you may want to check on the official websites or verified social media profiles of these individuals to see if they are involved with any organization. Deepfake video calls. This trick is similar to a voice cloning call, but it adds another convincing layer: video. Scammers use AI-generated videos of fake people or real people like your loved ones to make video calls. In these situations, they also may create a sense of urgency and ask for money. They may direct you to a malicious website where you're tricked into providing sensitive financial information that the scammer can steal. The rule of thumb is that if it seems incredibly urgent and requires money, a red flag should go up. Hang up the call and contact the person in question directly if possible. And beware of these videos elsewhere. They can appear in online advertisements and across social media, often involving celebrities and news anchors. Fake stores and marketplaces. Scammers may create AI-generated malicious websites. In some cases, these websites serve as fake stores or marketplaces. You may find the links to these malicious sites on social media or via text or email. In some cases, they'll list a popular product that you've been searching for at an exceptionally discounted price. But if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The scammer would take your financial information to process the order, and you'll never receive the product. The bad actor would instead keep your sensitive financial information and either sell it on the dark web or use it to make fraudulent purchases. But these go beyond popular products. They could also involve listings for apartments and houses. If you believe you've been a victim of this type of scam, it's important that you contact your financial institution immediately to see how you may proceed. In some cases, you may be able to get your money back. But if you feel you've been a victim of any type of scam, it's also important to report it to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. AI phishing. Phishing has long been a favorite for scammers. They often involve emails disguised to seem like they are coming from legitimate sources like your employer, a loved one, or a government agency. But a scammer uses these emails to trick you into sending money or divulging sensitive information like your financial information, passwords, and social security number. In some cases, they also send links that actually lead to a fraudulent website or malware designed to destroy your device and steal sensitive information. Back in the day, you could spot a phishing email by looking for things like typos, grammatical errors, non-legitimate email addresses, and more. But AI has muscled up these emails, and they now seem more convincing than ever. So if you see an email claiming to be from a legitimate source and asking for things like money or your sensitive information, close the email. Don't click on any links. Delete it. Reach out to the organization in question directly via an official phone number or through their official website. And keep in mind that financial institutions and businesses would never ask for your password via email, call, or text. The bottom line: AI has made completing tasks easier for many. But that also applies to scammers and fraudsters. Criminals are now armed with the most sophisticated technology, and they're using it to prey on unsuspecting victims. You may fall for tricks like deepfake phone or video calls, as well as AI-assisted phishing scams. As a result, you could lose everything from your bank account to your retirement savings, even your own identity. This is why you must remain vigilant. Beware of any type of communication that involves giving up money or sensitive information like your passwords, financial information, and social security number. Take a deep breath and carefully analyze what's in front of you. It may also help to contact a trusted friend. Sometimes, an extra set of eyes can help identify a scam in progress.
And we do thank Epoch Times for providing that information online. And we will certainly provide that link to the one you just listened to, folks, and you can certainly research more of it on their website at theepochtimes.com. You have to put the THE, but it's theepochtimes.com. Now, we're going to go back just a little bit here, folks, as we just, of course, went through the one about the transgender scandal. That's not a wake-up call. I don't know what is. You may recall, ladies and gentlemen, from earlier this year when Laurel Libby, our state representative from Auburn, was censured by the Democrats, majority. Not just Janet Mills. Actually, she had her henchmen do it for her. Attorney General Aaron Fry and Ryan Fecteau in the House chamber to get a vote. And she went all the way to the Supreme Court to get her voice back. This isn't going to change, folks. To our knowledge here at Firm, it's still going on at Greeley High School, where this young person competed as a woman, or a girl, I should say in this case. After many exchanges, shall we say, between Donald Trump's DOJ and Janet Mills' state government and mean Human Rights Act saying that the Human Rights Act is above Donald Trump's DOJ and Title IX. Because Janet Mills said back in March of this year, and has said so ever since, denying the law exists for them. Maine has special rights. She didn't call it that, but that's what she is indicating. Well, God didn't indicate anything except free will upon human beings born on this earth, the entire earth. Janet, Fry, Fecteau, deflectocrat, villainous evildoers. Just to get your way? So that you get federal money to keep on breaking the law? Hell no. And that's our point of view on that. Also, folks, never, ever forget our ally who's gotten to this point ever since the horrendous October murder of innocent Israelis and some Palestine citizens. When does the killing stop, folks? When? There better be peace, as you've heard recently in the news, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump certainly worked hard at it, as well as Prime Minister Netanyahu. This woman down here has it right, folks. She says, "We demand freedom for the hostages. Bring them home." As she holds her sign. And Scripture makes it clear, folks, as God always does. God is not vague God doesn't sidestep the truth. He created it. Keep that one in mind. Scripture makes this clear. God will bless those who bless Israel and curse those who curse her. Our final statement, folks, with a picture here of our young people and the United States flag, which we have on file on a regular basis. God bless every single one of them. They're part of Prager University. Happy to report that we believe Dennis Prager himself, the founder and owner, will be sort of to call back on his feet, functioning at the halls and back in his fireside chat chair within a few weeks. But our youth, among others, ladies and gentlemen, has been a movement within the past year, and it goes on. A revival. That's what people are calling it in the media. Sure, we'll go with the revival. But you know what? It's always been there. It's just never been recognized the way it is now. To bring back solidarity, sovereign morals, and fight against the leftist radicals who still push to crush the United States and Israel with outside hate groups and violence. So, pray, ladies and gentlemen, every day for the salvation of America and our strength, which lies in our majority of citizens' faith in our president and in God the Father, creator of the universe. Everyone stay safe. And peace to all.